It's podcadzo.
It kind of doesn't hit the same when it's not a beer
Yeah, but
or a soda. A soda would work.
really more fizz. You're saying?
Like there's the carbonate. The pressure that's really built up. You know.
That's true.
I should have shaken that.
Yeah.
I feel like I need more energy from you. What's going on?
Well, I need a drink of Celsius.
Have we even started yet?
Maybe. I don't know. We're warming up.
Okay.
I've been up since 4:30 in the morning.
What for? Just
I
because
had
of work?
like 4 hours of sleep last night. Yeah.
Damn.
So running on fumes, like I said.
I got up at 5:30,
When'd you go to bed?
but
When'd you lay your sweet head down to rest, Julian?
I tried to go to bed at like 9:30, but I went to bed at like 10:15.
I was in bed by 9:30 and I didn't fall asleep until 11:30.
Spiderweb. I got it. Don't worry.
Oh, I thought you meant by me.
No, it was off the lamp. Spiders are so weird, bro. They just... Oh, to be a spider. They just, like, in the middle of anywhere, they're just like, this seems like a good spot to drop anchor, and then they just
And then they do it.
build a house. Like, why did this seem like a good spot? There's nothing here.
I saw
Other than this table and this lamp, and occasionally I do some...
What else do you
I
need?
use the backdrop for some things
Down here.
sometimes. Yeah.
I could kind of... It's getting a little bit... I don't know. It looks used.
A bit.
Oh, that's not the word I was going to use. But sure.
I probably shouldn't use that word either.
I'm going to bleep
It's
that.
okay. Oh, please do. Please do.
I saw a spider devouring a moth today.
Ooh, that's exciting.
And it was kind of... It took me a while to figure out what was going on because it was a pretty small spider eating a rather large moth. And the moth seemed to be in utter misery. It was kind of horrible to watch.
It feels like it started now.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to tell you a story this good off the pod. I've been sitting on this all day. It was one of those situations where I ended up stomping both of them because I wanted to put the moth out of its misery, but the spider was just too much in the way.
Damn, you wanted to put the moth out of its misery, bro? Like,
Yeah, it was
why
getting
not
eaten
at least
alive.
let the spider get a last meal? It's too late at that point.
It was in the office and it was right by the fridge that we had some customers visiting today. And I didn't think it would be too becoming of the company if they opened the fridge and saw a spider eating a moth.
That's fair.
So that guided the decision as well.
That's definitely very principle.
I'm a vegetarian. Let me state that on the record.
So you think spiders should be too?
Yeah. So that's why I kill all carnivorous animals. No, that's not where I was going with that, and you know it.
Yeah.
I save spiders when they're inside the house. I used to be a person who, whenever I saw a spider, I'd trap it in a jar and bring it outside. And then I learned that's resigning that spider to a fate much worse than death.
A quick death.
Because they can't survive outside. Indoor spiders can't. So now, unless they're like a really intimidating spider, I just let them live inside.
Most spiders, correct me if I'm wrong here, most spiders that come in the house, they come from outside.
They have to come from somewhere.
So,
an egg originally. So perhaps the egg was laid inside of the house.
Whoa. I thought they came from storks.
Maybe some spiders
Why
do.
do we have storks?
For human babies.
I thought it was all babies.
No. Human babies and kangaroos, I think.
Kangaroo delivered in a stork. That's adorable.
Isn't that adorable?
I feel like we should make that a reality.
Somehow. What are other marsupials? There's kangaroos. There's koalas.
Is platypus a marsupial?
I think, yeah, don't platypi have a pouch?
I think so.
Do you have to have a pouch to be a marsupial?
I don't think so.
Man, if only there were a way to look this up. That's a classic Google. Marsupials.
Yeah, they're so great, but I know so little about them. I'm always learning about them every time.
I forget where it's from, but have you seen that it's probably SNL. There's a Christopher Walken sketch. Or maybe it was someone impersonating Christopher Walken. I don't really know, but at some point, someone with the Christopher Walken voice said something like, "I've never been afraid of the child Frankenstein. You know what scares me? Marsupials, because they're fast
and strong.
And yeah, kangaroos are terrifying."
Okay, you're not going to believe me when I say this. At my previous job that I had, not the one before the one I had, but the one in between the one I had now and before, you know what I'm saying? The one in the middle.
I think I catch your drift.
Where I was a retail associate, if you will. I'm not going to
Yes.
say where.
Yes. You tended to items.
I sold items on behalf of a retail establishment. I acted as a representative, if you will, of that establishment and sold products that establishment made and that we also brought in from third parties. And I won't say what the products are.
A product that anybody could really get behind.
Milk. You'll never know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, where was I going with this? Oh, the dude came in to buy some stuff, and I asked him how his day was going, and he told me that he was just going to go hang out with his animals afterwards. And I was like, that's cool. What kind of animals? Assuming, dogs, cats.
Dog, yeah, fish maybe. Hamster.
Hanging out with the fish is a stretch. You can't really hang out with the fish. It's kind of like you're hanging out and the fish is hanging out, and you're just like there together.
Hanging out together.
Yeah, you're hanging out separately, but you're together in the same room. The fish doesn't change what it's doing because of your well, it might be more reserved, if anything. What are you looking at?
I'm kind of worried. I mentioned that spider earlier. I'm kind of worried about the one that was under the table.
You killed it, right?
No, I left that one alone.
Holy fuck.
It was a big one too. I keep feeling like tickles on my ankle. I'm like, oh fuck.
It's probably about time to tell you this, but it's getting cold. And also, don't judge me. Please don't judge me, because it takes a lot of courage.
Kind of late for you
like
to be saying that in the pod now.
Why?
We've done 70 episodes and people have definitely judged you.
Yeah, but don't judge me for this specifically. Okay. It gets cold every year around this time, around the fall.
That's not your fault. No one could judge you for that.
Thank you. But because of where I live, and I think just because my house isn't built great, there's a little bit of a mouse thing that happens every year when it gets cold.
I've seen mice down here before.
Yeah, that was because that day the homie moved the couch. I'm pretty sure there was a little mouse colony in that couch.
Ugh.
Don't tell him I said that. Anyway, yeah, so there's a mouse thing going on right now in the house. It's not out of control yet, but we're seeing like one a day in places where you don't want to see them.
Down here?
No, not down here. Upstairs.
Upstairs.
But I wouldn't put it past a mouse to be down here.
Yeah, why not? Spiders are down here.
Spiders down here.
Mouse might as well be.
Occasionally, there's a centipede.
I won't judge you for that, Julian.
Thank
Lots
you.
of homes struggle with mice problems.
It's not because my house is gross. It's not because I'm a pig. It's not because there's fucking food and raw sewage laying around everywhere.
Just raw sewage.
Yeah, just the raw, and that's because I have a collection going. So you keep looking around, and it's freaking me out.
That wasn't I was just looking at the screen like I normally do.
Okay.
You're acting paranoid.
Yeah, you're right.
Calm down.
I did a lot of cocaine before this. Does cocaine affect paranoia? Probably.
No, it calms you down. Famously
Really?
calms you down, yeah.
Okay, I should do more cocaine. But to answer your question from a long time ago, marsupials do not have to have pouches. Gray short-tailed opossums has 13 retractable nipples instead of a pouch.
It's like
That's
a car
cool
racing
trade-off.
game. You trade or you choose your upgrade
like
at the start.
Mario Kart. Like,
Yeah.
do I want the big wheels or
Do
do
you
I
want
want 13
Nas,
nipples?
a pouch, or 13 nipples? I would choose 13 nipples.
Retractable?
Yeah, retractable.
That's insane.
It's enough just to have 13 nipples, but if you can retract them puppies.
Wham bangers, also known as mouse sacks.
Oh, speaking of
These
mice.
marsupials have pseudo pouches made of skin folds
These
around their
marsupials
mammary glands.
Welcome to podcadzo.
Yeah.
We forgot to say
We're
that
talking
at the
about
start.
marsupials this
Talking
week.
about marsupials because they're fast.
Because they got pouches.
That was a good walk in there.
They got pouches. I feel like that one was
pouches.
worse.
No, that was good.
The longer I try to do impressions, I feel like the worse they get.
Christopher Walken should be an easy one, but I've never been too good at it.
It's because I feel like his inflection doesn't actually go up like that. He doesn't go pouches. He says it pouches. Like he says it evenly.
Yeah, you have a good
pouches.
There's a bit of boominess in there that I never able to.
I think, to be honest, I feel like you've got more of that than I do. When you say it.
But I can't do it with when I say it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll workshop it later.
But yeah, when you say it too.
Okay, we'll figure it out later. I'm your host. You know me from this podcast.
Are you going to introduce yourself again?
Yeah. I'm Colin.
I'm Cuke.
I'm Leonard. This is Cuke.
Leonard. I forgot about good old Leonard.
Leonard and Cuke in the morning.
How's it been going, Leonard?
It's been very... I've had a mature week. I'm a mature grown person named Leonard.
Yes.
And I have no complaints about life. I'm content.
That's good.
Yeah. How are you, Cuke?
You know, I've been causing a lot of antics, doing a lot of pranks.
As I would expect you to do.
Having a lot of not like things are happening, but not any bigger than, an anecdotal story length.
Yeah.
Like 30-minute things happen.
Things you could only explain within 30 minutes.
Yeah. I accidentally baked him into a cake or...
No, well that
was quick. I slimed a guy and... Let's move on.
Today we are going to do an album recap.
You might be asking yourself, but wait, you already did that. That was for the first half of the year. Fucking idiot.
That was 1H24. We're now well into 2H24.
I think I'm a totally different person than I was 6 months ago.
We're actually, newsflash for you guys, we're about into fiscal Q1 of 2025.
I just had such a good idea. Wait, we are?
Depending if your company does it that way. Some companies start their fiscal quarters in November.
Like how the 2025 Toyota 4Runner is already out, even though 2025 hasn't even started yet.
The last time we did an album recap or talked about new albums that have come out was sometime in June, I think we decided on. And we did sort of a first half of 2024 album recap.
That reminded me of my idea.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so hear me out. And this obviously won't be today, but at some point in the future, it'd be cool for an episode to listen to like in 6 months, we'll listen to the June episode and we'll listen to this episode and we'll react to it and see if we still have the same opinions about the records.
About those records?
Liked or disliked.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be great. Speaking of doing a kind of revisit, I've been thinking a lot about the debut album episode we did and how many important albums I left off of there. Maybe it'd be worth doing a kind of correction episode on the debut album.
Just threw away my list from the first time, so it'd be cool to do it again and see
do a fresh one.
How close,
how it compares. Yeah. Well, anyways, so
do you think that you how do you think you left albums off? Because we took very different approaches to that episode. I did debuts that personally affected me and that I thought were important to my specific niche. But then you took the approach of just debuts that were massively acclaimed in general.
No, I didn't just pick massively.
But you picked a lot of those albums that I didn't pick for that reason.
I looked at debut albums I liked and then honed in on the ones that were kind of critically acclaimed and well-known good debut albums.
I would say well-known more than critically acclaimed.
Well, maybe we don't. What made me think of this recently, I've been listening to a couple albums and I was like, oh my God, I didn't put REM on the list. I didn't put Murmur, which is definitely one of my favorite debut albums of all time. I didn't put The Killers on there, which is also a hugely impressive debut. There was another one.
Did we not even honorary mention The Killers?
I don't think so. Perhaps, but...
I need to listen to more of our old stuff.
Yeah. Anyways, it is now October at the time of us recording this, late October. So we're going to recap some of our favorite albums that came out between July and now, I guess.
Fun fact, when this episode drops, I will be in Japan.
Oh, nice.
So
what day do you leave again?
That's something you guys can think about. Friday.
Are you have you started packing yet?
I think I'm done. Well, I'm like 95% done packing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm excited for you. That'll be a great trip.
Yeah, I'll take some pictures and show them to you, and only a few of them will be of my butthole. A marginal amount of them.
A normal ratio. Normal ratio.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's hop into this album list, brother.
All right, Mr. No Banter.
Well, I'm just we sprinkle the banter in between.
So we didn't make lists ahead of time, so be patient with us.
Yeah, we're doing this a little bit off the cuff,
but we're kind of just starting around July. And do you have a list of some kind that you can look at? Do you want me to just read aloud?
I was gonna look at Apple Music new releases and just kind of go off of there.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay. So we're going to go in chronological order?
We can try.
Okay. And we're including singles too, or just singles and EPs, or just albums?
Fuck,
LPs?
I don't know. It might be easier to do singles after albums, possibly.
Okay.
Like do albums and then go back around for singles. There's only like a couple singles I really want to mention.
Okay. Right on.
Yeah.
Well, where would you start in July?
So honestly, my first one, let's see here. I think the first, well, fuck. The first one I would mention probably would honestly not really even be until like the middle of July. It'd probably be No Name, if we're being honest. Because looking at the beginning of July, I mean, the Zach Bryan release happens, but I don't really give a fuck about that. Didn't you like that one?
Not really.
Okay.
I didn't dislike it, but I'm not a big Zach Bryan guy.
And then, the Eminem record, The Death of Slim Shady. I did give that one a spin, and it was entertaining. I won't say it's good.
I still haven't listened to it. I've heard some of the songs, but I've not listened to the album. Okay. I know where to start with mine. Johnny Blue Skies and Sturgill Simpson. Passage de Désert, however you say the album name. That I'm a big Sturgill Simpson fan.
What day is that?
I like that one. July 12th, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, July 12th. So yeah, that was a big album for me. It's been on pretty regular rotation since it came out. And then that same day, Clairo dropped Charm. You Clairo person at all?
No, I've not really. It's not that I'm not a Clairo person. I just haven't listened to any of it.
I listened to it when it came out. I haven't returned to it a lot, but I remember liking the album. So Clairo. And then it's crazy. No Name was July 19th. It feels still so new. But that was 3 months ago.
I did give it a little bit of a break, but I did listen to it again like last week just because I did take a break, and it does feel still surprisingly fresh. I think just because the element of surprise that came with it, and the fact that the shows are complete surprises too.
Definitely.
We both tried to get to the show, and neither of us were able to get tickets, even though we were both. I feel like we were both relatively prepared.
Yeah, we haven't really
as prepared as one can be.
Griped about that on the pod yet.
No.
That's
the con that we were discussing of that model of touring, is that it affects people who can't afford to shill out a shitload of extra money for the memberships. Or
like we were saying, people who have a day job. So the tickets went on sale at 1 p.m. That's like when you could start buying them. And before, you had to do a thing where you had to submit something and get a code. So to even be eligible, you had to get a code first. And then I joined the queue right at 1. No, that's why I was upset. Something happened at work, so I couldn't join right at 1. I joined at 1:15, and it was sold out by then. So we were saying it kind of punishes people that have a day job too. Like the majority of people who work a shift can't dip out right at 1 and buy a ticket real quick.
Well, and with the whole verification code, it's like you don't even get the code when you send the initial text. So you kind of have to wait around for that. And it's all happened in the middle of the day. And if it was one of those things where AXS crashed and people had to wait in the lobby for like 45 minutes. It just wouldn't be possible for someone at work to get a ticket. Not everyone, whatever. Some people work on computers all day.
Yeah.
They can just wait in a queue while they're doing their job. But some people, like us, work at the dump, and we drive a tractor and drive over people's trash all day, every day.
Yeah. We had urgent dump business to take care of at one. There's a big haul of tractor trash that we needed to smash down with our tractors.
Mm-hmm. Blue collar.
Need to be done right there. Couple working class boys.
But No Name is incredible.
It is.
I can't remember if we've really talked about it on the podcast that much. I don't want to beat it down.
Yeah.
But it is a super good record. It's definitely, without spoiling too much, going to be on my records of the year list. I can say without a doubt it'll be somewhere.
For sure. I think that kind of wraps up July for me. I can't, looking at those lists now, there are albums that I remember seeing come out and that I meant to listen to, but I haven't really spent time with, so I can't talk to them on the pod.
Yeah, I kind of feel like, honestly, I listened to No Name so much in July because there wasn't that much else that I wanted to listen to.
Yeah, July was really dominated by No Name. And I was still well in my Brat summer then, too.
Brat was still heavy.
July was really No Name and Brat on
True.
repeat.
True.
Okay, well, that brings us into August.
August 1st, we got the new JPEG record, I Lay Down My Life For You, which, in my opinion, because I'm not the biggest JPEG fan, pretty classical JPEG. It's super weird, super artistic.
Yeah.
Lots of weird transitions. But it's a little bit, in my opinion, slightly more linear than the last JPEG release. I feel like he's trying to be more, not poppy, but maybe just slightly more accessible.
More
in his
palatable.
weirdness.
Yeah.
More palatable. Yeah, is a good way of putting it.
Yeah, for sure. What came out in August that I
August
was digging?
2nd, actually, we have the new Smashing Pumpkins. Did you ever check that out?
I never checked that out.
It's honestly pretty fucking good.
Really?
It's not great, but it's especially for a later career Smashing Pumpkins record, it's very surprisingly interesting. It's very heavy. A lot of riffage.
A lot of riffage?
A lot of tone.
What did Rick Beato think of this one?
Who the fuck? Fuck Rick Beato. I haven't said that in 4 episodes. Fuck Rick Beato.
I didn't know you felt that way.
Rick Beato, I'm sorry that I haven't brought this up sooner, but Rick Beato is to music what Charlie Brown was to the Charlie Brown universe. Everyone just kind of fucking hated him, but he still just showed up.
And he's the titular character, just like Rick Beato is the mayor of music.
Exactly.
That's a good analogy, actually. Yeah, the reviews for the Pumpkins record is pretty good.
It's not bad.
Yeah. Okay. I'll check that one out.
It's definitely riffy. I feel like it's a bit more of a callback record. They're trying to go back to their 90s vibes a little bit. Also, I could be making this up completely because it seems like I have a tendency to do that on this podcast, but I'm pretty sure it was recorded by the original Smashing Pumpkins lineup, and it's the first one recorded by the original lineup in quite some time.
Let me see if the Wikipedia for it confirms that, but that sounds right. I kind of remember seeing that in the music press.
It was at least something, most of them were there, if not all of them.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to check that later.
Get back to us on that.
Let's see.
August 9th, we got KGLW with Flight B741, which is honestly my favorite Giz record since Petrodragonic.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very good.
So I've only listened through it once. What's come out since it's just that and Silver Cord, right? So you just like it more than Silver Cord, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I guess so. I was gonna say it's my favorite Giz record besides Petrodragonic. I would say since in a minute. Probably since Infest the Rat's Nest.
Yeah. I like it. I need to listen to it more.
It's kind of like their version of a 70s record.
Yeah. That's the vibe I got from it for sure. Let's see. August? Okay. August 16th, Foster the People, Paradise State of Mind. Did you listen to that record when it came out?
I did check it out once. I have not gone back to it, but I did think it was like interesting, at least on first listen.
This was a debut record that I wanted to mention. Not obviously, Paradise State of Mind is not the debut record, but Foster the People's.
This is their first record.
Yeah, right. Foster the People's debut, Torches, is a notable debut for sure. I wouldn't say it's like up there in my all-time albums, but definitely deserves an honorable mention. What else in August?
August 16th, we also had the Pompoko album Champion, which I listened to on Will Benson's suggestion.
Oh, yeah. I listened to it too. Good record.
Very good record. Very interesting.
Okay, here's a big one. August 23rd, Fontaines DC, Romance. That's an album that I've been listening to a lot since that one dropped. We've not really talked about Fontaines DC on the pod. It's been I wanted to talk about. Where are you at with Fontaines DC?
So I know Skinty Fia was like a really big deal, very like critically acclaimed, and a lot of people liked it. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that their first record?
No,
there's records before that, but that's kind of the record that broke them through.
Yeah,
got them more popular. I wasn't really a big fan of Skinty
Fia.
Yeah, fucking A. But yeah, it
was their third.
I think it was. I always feel bad saying this. I just feel like an old fucking crotchety asshole. But like, I just feel like it was overhyped a little bit. Like, what people said it was, as far as like being heavy, but like progressive and modern and indie and all that shit at the same time. Like, I just didn't really get that from it. Like, it definitely indie, definitely like energetic, but it just was like people were calling it like heavy rock. Like, people were like comparing it to like Turnstile and shit.
Really?
Some people,
Interesting.
yeah. But yeah, I just didn't really connect with it that much. But Romance, I really like 2/3 of it, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got into Fontaines DC when they released Hero's Death, which was in 2020. And then went back to their first album, which is Doggerel, which I like Doggerel, good album. Was a big fan of Hero's Death and a big fan of Skinty Fia. And when Skinty Fia came out, I was like showing Fontaines DC to everyone and listened to them all the time. Really liked their vibe. Really liked how much they leaned into the Irishness of it all. And then Starburster was the first single they dropped off of Romance. And I remember seeing the video come up, and I watched the video and listened to the song, and I hated it.
Really?
Okay, that's a little drastic, but I was like, man, Fontaines DC is ruined now. And then I let a couple weeks pass. Heard Starburster out in the world more casually, went back and listened to it myself a couple times, and I was like, why was I hating on this? This is a great song. I like the video too. I like that they made such a calculated change in their sound and kind of the vibe of the band and even like the way they're dressing and stuff. And then Romance came out, and I love the record. I think it's great. There are some songs that are maybe a bit weaker that I kind of skip or that are forgettable, but the like opening half of it from Romance up to In the Modern World, which is the 5th track, I think is an excellent album opener, first half of an album. And then Favorite, the last song, is probably my favorite Fontaines DC song now.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
I love Favorite.
The one thing about the first half that throws me off, which is probably also just me being like crotchety and shitty, is just here's the thing, how it like starts directly in the chorus.
Yeah.
After the vibe of Starburster, that is the one moment on the first half where I am kind of pulled out of it for a second, because it kind of feels like it almost feels too strategic, where they're like, Starburster is definitely still energetic, but it kind of goes into like a more melodic, more open thing. And then they're like, all right, now we need to like do a heavy guitar song. And it just kind of feels a little bit too abrupt. So,
I think I felt that way the first time I listened.
Song,
and then, like upon listening, I think so Romance is a cool way to open it. Starburster is obviously the big single.
Really cool.
Really cool song. Here's the thing, I'll come back to that. What really like solidifies it for me is Desire into In the Modern World.
That
In
is
the Modern World
yeah.
is a great tune.
I would
and like
say
those
that's
two together are
my favorite one on the record.
yeah, after Favorite, that's my
maybe I just
one.
haven't listened to Favorite enough because it is one of those things where like I've listened to the front half more than the back half of this one.
Yeah.
But I've still listened to the back half a good solid few times.
I think one of the things that threw me off about Starburst when I first listened to it was the inhale thing that they do.
Yeah.
And I found that cheesy the first time I listened to it, and it's probably because it reminded me too much like Imagine Dragons or something like that. I was like, really? That's kind of cheap.
It kind of almost had like
Production
Idols
trick.
vibes to me.
Yeah, that's
where
true.
The dude's just like
yeah. But yeah, coming back around to it like a couple times, I love that song and love the whole album. So yeah,
I love the way that it moves when he's kind of like talk rapping and like it's not even like the chorus. It's kind of like what happens in between the chorus and the next section. That part is like a highlight for me. It just grooves super well. And I can't understand a fucking word he's saying. I just kind of go, I'm a Hana, Shinama, Fanama.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I want to jump back to August 16th for 1 sec just to shout out the Tinashe record, Quantum Baby. Kelsey put that record on for me when we were driving to Denver one time. And that record's really, really good. I think you should check it out. It's like, it's a rap record, but it's more of like a mixtape vibe where like each song is kind of completely different. And there's moments where it kind of reminds me of like Kendrick or like J. Cole, but then there's also moments where it's super old school feeling, and it's just a very nice mix of like melodic rap and hip hop, and then just like straight kind of like old school straightforward rap. So I think you would really, really enjoy that record, honestly.
Okay, right on. I'll check that one out.
And then August 23rd, is that where we were?
Yeah, we were there.
The Chelsea Wolfe record, or I guess it's an EP technically, but Undone by Chelsea Wolfe is really, really good. I would definitely check that one out too. Chelsea Wolfe is super good at being like almost operatic with the heaviness that they like have within their universe. So
okay, hell yeah, I'll check that one out. Illuminati Hotties dropped an album then. I was just like vaguely familiar with Illuminati Hotties, but I listened to that LP and I remember liking it. So I mentioned that it was also August 23rd. And then Sabrina Carpenter dropped Short and Sweet, which
I still haven't checked that one out.
I don't think I've listened to the album in its entirety, but P. Jiggy is big into Sabrina Carpenter. And I not like a huge Sabrina Carpenter fan, but I appreciate her, and I appreciate her place in the like pop renaissance that we're having right now, the resurgence of good pop music that people are really into and getting behind. So yeah, I'm a fan of hers.
August 30?
August 30.
We've got the Doechii record, Alligator Bites Never Heal, which Kelsey also showed me that one.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much the same thing. I would highly recommend that you check that one out if you haven't.
I have not.
Probably my favorite like hip hop record that I've heard this year. It's super all over the place, but not in a bad way. Like it has cohesion, but each song is like its own little statement, and it does draw a lot of influence from like everything. Like there's a lot of Kendrick moments and a lot of like 90s hip hop moments and stuff like that. I do think the Doechii record is super underrated as far as like appreciation, because it's definitely like one of the most experimental and like the most chances taken type of hip hop record that I've heard this year.
Okay, right on. Yeah, I'm gonna check that one out. Here's an album I'm so excited to talk about. John Legend, My Favorite Dream.
It's
just
pretty
joking. You've listened to it?
It's not bad.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
think I listened to everything. I think I listened to like 30 seconds of each song, but it's not bad. It's definitely a John Legend record.
John
like
Legend.
You're not going to get anything that you wouldn't expect. The Laurie Anderson record, Amelia, is really good. If you haven't checked that out.
I haven't checked that one out either. Did you listen to the Nick Cave record?
I
Wild
did
God?
because I think my dad told me to check it out, or maybe I just checked it out because I know my dad would like it.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't bad. I heard there was a lot of Aaron Dessner like collaboration and production.
Man, Aaron Dessner is such a force in
Yeah,
music
he's
now.
all over the fucking place. I don't understand it. All his production sounds the same. Like, you
Yeah.
can tell when it's an Aaron Dessner song because it's like, oh, now I'm inexplicably kind of sad for no reason.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I liked the Nick Cave record and listened to it like once through kind of casually. But yeah, I'm a Nick Cave fan.
It's
and
not horrible.
I'll listen to anything Nick Cave does.
Once.
At most, and then never return.
Never return to it.
I think that covers me for major LP releases in August.
Yeah.
We scooting right along to September.
Yeah, I'm going through September and not really seeing anything that I can.
Yeah, September was kind of light for. Oh, I didn't realize Rex Orange County put out a new record in September. You Rex Orange County guy at all?
No.
You ever listen to him?
No. I think I would like him.
I think you would for sure. The Apricot Princess, his album, was a big one for me back when it came out. Listen to that record a lot.
Okay.
So Rex Orange County is pretty dope.
Check that
I'll have to check out the new one. Oh yeah, the came out with Ensoulment.
Did put out Ensoulment.
Yeah.
And not too long after that, Coin put out a record too.
Oh yeah, nice. We've talked a little bit about the on this record, but speaking of Johnny Marr, Johnny Marr played in the for a while.
Fuck Johnny Marr.
You have that in the wrong order. It's Johnny fucking Marr.
Sorry, my bad.
Oh, Toro y Moi put out a record too the same day as on September 6th. You ever listen to Toro y Moi?
No.
Cool electronic artist. I liked a lot of Toro y Moi's earlier albums, so I'll have to check out that one. Is the Coin album any good?
I don't think I listened to it.
Oh, okay.
I might have given it a quick perusing. Let me look at it.
Word.
Oh, no. I did add it to my list of things, but I'd never checked it out. But it looks like the art's interesting. Decent track list, 45 minutes long. Like I want to check it out at some point. Maybe. Who knows? I've been listening to a lot of English Beat lately. Do you ever listen to English Beat? They're so fucking good, bro.
I've done sound for English Beat twice.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's cool. Next time you do sound for them, you should let me know.
I will let you know.
I'm a big fan of English Beat.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm a newer fan to them. I always really liked a couple of their songs, but I went through and listened to like their first 3 records, and they're very, very enjoyable.
Yeah, the English Beat is fucking fantastic. I love English Beat. Nick Lowe and Not a Surf both put out albums on this day too. I was going to
mention the Not a Surf record. It's decent. I won't say it's like the best Not a Surf record, but I do think it's pretty enjoyable. And I don't know who Nick Lowe is. What's the deal with that?
Nick Lowe, he's more prominent as a producer. Let me look up some of his titles. He did My Aim Is True, This Year's Model, and Armed Forces by Elvis Costello. So that's when I first got into Nick Lowe as a producer, is noticing that he worked with Elvis Costello a lot, which is obviously one of my favorite bands. I think he played on Elvis Costello records too. Played guitar. I could be wrong about that. But yeah, he's also put out some great, and he did production on like a lot of other great solo artists and bands in the 70s and 80s. And then he's been releasing his own music since the late 70s. So I'm definitely not an expert on Nick Lowe, but fan of his. And yeah.
Okay, cool. I mean, that's enough for me to want to check it out.
Yeah.
Why not? The Snow Patrol record.
I was just about to say, no, that's one I've been meaning to come back to and give a listen to. Any good?
I have not checked it out either. Kind of the same thing. I'm meaning to listen to it, mostly because I've heard and seen that it's been getting a decent amount of critical acclaim and people are liking it, which first time in quite some time I feel like that someone's liked the Snow Patrol record that much. But I will say, and this is a secret that not very many people know, but the Snow Patrol record, Final Straw, would probably be in like my top 10, not my top 10, probably more like my top 25 of all time records.
Wow.
It's one of the records that I grew up on.
Yeah.
Like it was a CD that I had that I listened to like religiously.
That's so funny because my dad was super into that album. And so I listened,
really
and
good.
I was a big Snow Patrol fan when they came out, but that does not surprise me about you knowing what a big Coldplay head you were back in the day.
Yeah. But
So
it's
it
really
makes
just
sense.
that
It
one
tracks,
record.
yeah.
The rest of them are a bit too poppy. Kind of similar to Coldplay.
Similar to Coldplay. I'm like kind of. I've not really listened to Snow Patrol since that album. Like I've heard Snow Patrol songs, but I don't think I've ever consciously put on a Snow Patrol record since then.
They make records. I think they do that thing where it's just all like it's singles mostly, and then the filler.
Yeah.
The records aren't, and I could be super wrong because I haven't really listened to them either. But that's the vibe I get. Is like there's the singles where it's like they want another Chasing Cars type thing. Fuck. What was I gonna say? Oh,
it was about Snow Patrol.
Yeah, kind of in that universe too, and I could be crazy. Tell me if I'm wrong. But I always felt like the editors kind of fit into that universe too, like Coldplay.
Yeah.
Snow Patrol
editors, yeah.
Which is another like cornerstone thing for me. Grew up on.
Yeah.
So.
No, that I've always associated them for sure. Suki Waterhouse put out a record on that same day too. Memoir of a Sparkle Muffin.
That's a good name.
Suki Waterhouse looms large in my household because Jiggy's such a indie sad girl fan, so she listens to a lot of Suki. And Suki's a little bit, she's not like pure indie sad girl, but she's definitely on the periphery of that scene.
That's cool.
So I haven't listened through this album in its entirety, but yeah, Suki Waterhouse is pretty cool.
I like the name of the record. That's a good name.
Yeah. Okay, so September 20th. So now we're quite recent. Like these releases feel like
not too long ago.
Yeah, like this week. First big one for me this week was Bright Eyes.
The Bright Eyes, yeah. Very interesting. That it's interesting that record came out despite the Conor Oberst situation, like how his voice is all fucked up supposedly.
Yeah, and a bunch of health concerns, mental health and physical health concerns, and it really caught me by like when I saw that it dropped. I'm a big Bright Eyes fan. Julia's a huge Bright Eyes fan.
I would say so.
And it kind of caught both of us by surprise that this album came out. There wasn't not a lot of press or build up around it. So I've listened to it like 2 or 3 times through.
I've listened to it twice.
It's a Bright Eyes album.
Bright Eyes record, definitely more, because I feel like, and I could be, again, because I don't listen to all the newer records too terribly much, but like some of the newer ones felt more like just Conor Oberst's like solo stuff that was left over, and this one feels more like Bright Eyes material.
Yeah,
if that makes any sense.
Yeah, definitely.
The Alchemist put out an EP called The Genuine Articulate, which I like a lot. It's just some beats and some features, but I think it's a pretty solid EP on the 20th as well. Are you a Fiddler guy?
I was at one point. This album, I missed this album coming out. I've not listened to the new Fiddler.
What about the new Seether?
Not listening to Seether either.
I checked out a little of it.
Okay.
It's a Seether record.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know how all those bands decided at some point that they wanted to be pop bands but with like a rock band arrangement?
Right, yeah.
That's kind of what I feel about that Seether.
Okay. Interesting. Thurston Moore put out Flow Critical Lucidity. I gave that one a spin. Need to return to it, but I dug it. Thurston Moore.
I've heard good things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good album art. I'll say that about it.
I've heard really bad things about the Voids record.
I was about to say, I'm a huge Casablancas fan, huge Voids fan. Listen to Voids all the time.
Are you a huge Voids fan too?
Okay, huge might be a stretch, but like the Voids come up on my playlist and shuffle a lot. Like I'm listening to the Voids pretty regular. What's the Voids album?
What would you say is like the main? What's like the critical difference between the Voids and the Strokes?
Voids is like feels like a Casablanca's passion project. Like he takes the bullshit that they started to do on Come Down Machine to the nth degree in Voids.
Sure.
And he feels more free to do his auto-tune thing.
Definitely.
Feels free to bring more synth into it. Feels more free to just like do a song in the middle of an album that doesn't sound like anything else and is way out there. So I'm a big like Virtue is the Void's album that I'm really into. And Tyranny, it was the album before that. Both are solid records. But yeah, it's really Casablanca's feeling empowered to do creative Casablanca stuff. I haven't spent enough time with the New Voids to give you my honest feeling about it. I know it's had mixed reviews. I liked it like upon like my first somewhat casual listen to it. But what have you heard about it? Or what are your thoughts on it?
I mean, nothing that really matters. I just like Pitchfork kind of said it was like pretty stale and uninspired.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember if Rolling Stone reviewed it positively or not. I want to say it was like Stereo Gum or someone reviewed it and said it was just kind of boring. Like, not that it was like horrible by any means, but just that it wasn't very like fulfilling.
Yeah.
Felt kind of just like a
filler.
Yeah.
Not worth the time. Interesting.
But I kind of feel that way about all of the music that Julian Casablancas makes. Is like it's all not in the way that it's like shitty, but just in the way that it's all similar. Like that's kind of what I asked like about the key differences, because like I haven't listened to the Voids that much, but to me it's just like like darker, more edgy strokes in a way.
Yeah.
Similar, like you can tell that it's similar universe.
Yeah, they're like neon strokes.
Yeah.
Voids, yeah. Yeah. That's how I would describe it. I'm just I'm not listening to a new Voids album with too much of a critical ear. I'm just happy it's out there.
Yeah.
Throw it on.
That's really all that matters. Makes you feel good. Makes your pee-pee feel that tingly feeling.
Indeed. That's what he does for me. All right, we're coming up to September 27th. This was my birthday weekend.
I'm not seeing shit.
I'm not seeing...
Oh, the Shushu record is good.
Oh, is it? Check that out.
It's... I don't think... fuck, I don't even know. Let's see.
The bottom of this list is funny. Before that, Soul Asylum and Van Morrison both put out albums in that on that day, which is funny. I didn't realize Van Morrison came out with a new record. Don't you like Tommy Richmond?
Me?
No. Sorry, I'm getting fucking... I forgot who Tommy Richmond was.
Don't you ever say
he did
that
$1 Million
again.
Baby.
Tommy Richmond is the lowest tier type of musical creator.
I was mixing up Tommy Richmond with a different like viral internet sensation that I can't think of who I'm thinking
Someone
of.
that I like?
Someone that you would probably fuck with a little bit. Whatever.
Yeah, anyway, fucking Tommy Richmond's okay. Ugh, I don't want to go on a whole rant right now, but I just assumed it was one of those things like the inverse of how we were talking about with the KSI song, how you can call trash trash. I feel like it's kind of the opposite with Tommy Richmond. Like, I assumed everyone thought he was bad, and then I was talking about how bad he was one day at work, and everyone was like, nah, he's really good. Like, I love Tommy Richmond. And I was just like, it feels to me like the most, like, it's as uninspired as, like, DaBaby, where, like, the beats literally feel like the beats that you just pick from, like, the samples that come with GarageBand.
Yeah.
Like, there was no effort put into any of it whatsoever, and the vocal production is the exact same for each song. The melodies are, like, pretty much exactly the same for each song. And, a bunch of people really fuck with Tommy Richmond, as it turns out, so I'm in the minority there. But he's horrible. But yeah, the Shushu record is called 13 by the masses, but I think it's called 13-inch Frank Beltrame Italian stiletto with bison horn grips.
Okay.
That's the full name.
I ain't listening to it.
It's pretty fucking weird, but if you like Shushu, you'll like it.
Nah, I'll listen to it. All right, so now we're into the month we're currently in, October. I think the first thing I want to ask you about is Coldplay, Moon Music.
Fucking horrible.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Really bad. I think it's really unfortunate. I don't know if we talked about this in person. If we did, I apologize for being repetitive, but I really don't like the fact that they name songs after like keyboard emojis.
Yeah.
Like,
I can't
makes me
believe
unbelievably furious. That, like, to do it once on one album is like, okay, you don't see that too much.
Yeah.
Could be interesting. That is if the material's good and if the emoji corresponds to the content of the music in any way. But the fact that they're doing it for multiple albums, like they did it a while ago, then they did it again, now they're doing it again. It's like they're grown men and they're naming a song Rainbow Emoji.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck are you, bro? Who the fuck do you think you are? What kind of, like, I don't know. Did you see the Zane Lowe interview that they did by chance? It's so
not yet.
Fucking cringy.
I probably will watch it though.
So like they're about to play a show. I guess they're still on their Music of the Spheres tour, which is crazy because that record came out like 3 years ago. But yeah, they're still touring that. Zane Lowe interviews like Guy and then Johnny and then Will. Like inside of the stadium. And then of course Chris Martin has his interview and he's not wearing any shoes or socks. He's fucking barefoot and they're sitting on like two jagged ass rocks right by the ocean side.
When you said Zane Lowe interview, I thought Chris Martin, that's almost exactly the image I thought of.
They're like the two most similar. Like I've never seen Zane Lowe interview anyone that's more similar to him, where it's like it's the most pathetic, stale, redundant garbage in the world, and he's just like, it's amazing, like it's your best work ever. But like that's what they do. They just suck each other off for like the whole interview. But basically, it's just the whole time. It's like I'm thinking you're a grown man, and your like whole thing is like I'm all about peace and love and like sustainability for the earth. Like I'm just a hippie dude. And like I named the songs Rainbow Emoji, but he literally puts out dollar store pop music that is absolute trash. The sad thing is, sorry to literally rant for like 5 minutes straight. This is the last thing I'm going to say about that record. The Rainbow Emoji song is like the only listenable song on that fucking record. So it's like, okay, either the music has substance but nothing else does, or it's like the song title is somewhat provocative and interesting, but the song itself is fucking trash. The equation's just so wrong with them, and it's like so disappointing. And I wish that they would, like, because they put out maybe one banger every like 2 or 3 records. I really like Everyday Life from 2019. I think that record's really good, but it still has a lot of stinkers on it. Mm-hmm. They put out like one good song besides that every like 2 or 3 records since like the year 2014. And that's enough for me to be like, oh, so they still got it. Like they still have good shit. It's just like they don't focus on it at all. Yeah. Like they just don't give a fuck about actually making a full length provocative record that's like different and not just the same shit that they did last time. Like Music of the Spheres and then Moon Music. Like, you've got to be fucking playing with me, right? You're not even trying to change your album titles anymore. Like, I don't say this lightly, but Chris Martin, you should consider, like, they keep saying, like, oh, Coldplay's going to be done at a certain point. Like, we just have to put out the perfect amount of records and then we're done. They've been saying that since fucking Everyday Life. Just call it, dude. You look like a fucking idiot. You look like an outdated, self-righteous, egotistical, fucking fake piece of shit every time you put out a new piece of record or a new piece of music, and the best thing you can do is put out like 6 good minutes of content. Like, retire, bro. Just call it.
Well, I think we covered everything. I could have said it better myself. Ditto. That's how I feel.
Good.
I will be seeing them when they come to Ball Arena, though, in Denver.
Are you serious? No. Okay. I was like, holy shit. Can we talk about a record from the 4th that I like a lot?
Is it Gordy Creep?
That is one for sure.
Is it Godspeed You Black Emperor?
That's another one for sure.
Okay.
But I want to mention the Blood Incantation record, Absolute Elsewhere.
Oh, yeah.
So Galloway, the homie who plays bass for us, they recommended Blood Incantation. And the new Absolute Elsa record, and Blood Incantations from Denver, so technically local.
Yeah.
And it's so amazing. It's like the perfect.
It's great album.
It's everything that I want, like every piece of music to be, like heavy and like progressive and super groovy and super melodic. Like it rotates off. It's like, okay, here's some heavy shit, and now that you're kind of like done with the heavy shit, here's like some mind-blowing psych rock that's like incredibly melodic and spacious and beautiful. Like it's a masterpiece of a record. Like I would say like 10 out of 10. I wouldn't change anything about it.
I'm glad I almost skipped over this one, but yeah, I feel the exact same way. I was familiar with Blood Incantation.
Yeah,
I don't think I ever like really listened to the full Blood Incantation album, but yeah, Galloway mentioned this one and threw it on immediately. I was like, wow, this is an amazing album.
It's such a banger.
Yeah.
It's so interesting, and it's such a good mix of so many different things.
Yeah.
Like Galloway was right. Like it sounds like Yes at certain times.
Uh-huh.
It sounds like Genesis at certain
times. Yeah,
sounds
like Pink Floyd at certain times.
Pink Floyd, yeah, like it's all over the place. And then it's also got like
such doomy, gnarly,
thrash,
brutal. Yeah, for sure. Good shout out.
And
wow, October 4th was a good day for music.
Yeah, the Balance and Composure record, With You in Spirit, is really good too. If you like that sort of thing, it's a very solid Balance and Composure record.
Yeah, other than Coldplay, Muddy in the Waters, then really solid releases. There's the Gordy Greep, the Godspeed You Black Emperor. Jake Bugg released an album, which is another one I've been meaning to come back to. I haven't listened to it, but I've always liked Jake Bugg a lot.
Yeah, Jake Bugg's pretty good.
I've heard good things about the Leon Bridges album.
I haven't checked that out.
I haven't checked that either. Have you? Am I speaking out of turn? It has been well received, I think.
I would say so. Yeah. The Caribou record, Honey, is really good. Very trippy.
Also
and
been meaning to
trancey.
come back to that. I like Caribou a lot.
It's very good.
Mm-hmm.
You said Drug Church, right? Or did you not mention Drug Church?
No, I haven't mentioned Drug Church.
Drug Church put out Prude on the 4th, and then Fever 333 also put out Darker White. And I think you would like Fever 333. They're kind of just like Boston hardcore. They're pretty good. The Jordy Greep record, I fucking love. To me, it's just like, it's kind of just like a Black Midi record, but with some more like 70s stuff going on, like a little more proggy, slightly more melodic.
Yeah, I listened through it once. I need to give it another spin. But yeah, I was a fan.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
The Godspeed record is really good.
Mm-hmm.
And also, the title's very provocative because it's about the current state of the world and stuff, the war. Which war might you ask?
28,340
Doesn't
dead.
matter.
Doesn't matter.
People are dead.
All right, and The Smile.
On the
Cutouts.
4th. Oh, shit.
On the 4th.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so kind of slightly maybe might have put together this episode of talking about new releases just so we could talk about cutouts, right?
We had debated only talking about cutouts. Or not debated, but that was an
we
idea.
Did think about it
just
for a
an
second.
album on cutouts. But yeah, this is a big album
it's
for
not quite
the two
enough
of us.
to say.
Yeah, because like at the end of the day, we didn't have much to say about it other than we fucking love it.
For me, it's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like I try not to overuse the 10 out of 10 thing. I know I've already said it once this episode, but this record truly is a 10 out of 10. Like there really is not a single thing I would change about it. Even like at first when like Don't Get Me Started was put out as a single, I was like, this seems kind of like a stretch, like not quite enough going on.
Yeah.
But in the context of everything else, it's like exactly what that record needs at exactly the right time. The sequencing is great.
The sequencing couldn't be better.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't be better. Yeah, it's probably like in the last less than a month. It came out on the 4th. I've probably listened to this record like 20 plus times. I'm just constantly listening to the Smile record, and I remember the day it came out, listened to it just all day long, and I think I mentioned this too. I was playing it at dinner, and I've shown Julia the Smile before, and she was into them, but not like super into it. And then she like stopped in the middle of whatever she was saying. She was like, "This is really good music. What is this?" It's the new Smile record.
I fucking got you.
Yeah.
No, I think for me, it's the same. Like, I've listened to it so many times. It took over pretty much where I was with No Name. Like, I was listening to No Name once a day, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've been listening. I did stop within the last, like, week, but I was listening to cutouts, like, once a day. In my opinion, it's, like, the best Smile record that we've gotten so far. I think the amount of, like, growth that's happened within the Smile within the last 3 years is pretty incredible. Like, they're obviously all professional musicians with a lot of maturity, but, like, just the fact that they grow in so many different directions so quickly just blows my mind and still inspires me, even though I'm a grown adult. Like, when I hear it, it's just, you can't help but be, like, awestruck kind of by the amount of ground that they cover and how easy they make it sound and how accessible it is while still being incredibly experimental and, like, different than anything else that's going on in the scene. And I really like how it kind of combines, like, the orchestrated, really beautiful, huge melodies of, like, Wall of Eyes with, like, the energy and the kind of drive that Light for Attracting Attention kind of has. Like, it feels way funkier and way more, like, drum and bass led.
Yeah.
And Johnny is way more textural. But then, yeah, there's still the moments where it's, like, just huge swelling strings or, like, piano ballads, like, from Wall of Eyes. So I do think it's just a perfect mix of everything we've heard so far while still being, like, completely different and way more ahead of the curve, I would say, than, like, anything else that's out right now.
This is probably redundant to say, but because I could say this about any Dismount records, but this one really felt like these guys at, like, the height of their powers, where they can literally just do whatever they want.
Anything.
And they, like, take you, like, each song was like, whoa, how the fuck did they go there? That's crazy.
If anyone
so
else
flawlessly executed.
Yeah, if anyone else tried to make a record that was even remotely that all over the place, it would feel like a complete fucking train wreck.
Yeah, it'd be unlistenable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remarkable record. All right, so October 4th was a big day for releases. Let's see, October the next week, October 11th. Something I could have done an entire episode about, Brat, and it's completely different, but also still Brat, the remix album. Have you listened to it?
I have not checked it out.
Okay.
I've heard that it is very different, but still very similar.
Brat. That's why it's called
crazy
Brat,
how
and it's completely different, but also still Brat.
It's crazy how the title really does sum it up so perfectly.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I keep hearing people talk about it like, oh, I like this song more than the original, or oh, I don't like this song more than, and I say, stop drawing comparisons.
They're different songs.
They're different songs. You're not supposed to like one more than the other, or even compare them. But it just, like, Charlie XCX has not misstepped once in this entire album cycle.
It really is
such
like the
a
perfect
dope
rollout.
release. Yeah, such perfect rollout. The features that are on this album are amazing. Back to the Julian Casablancas conversation, I was especially excited to hear that he was featuring on it, and he did Mean Girls, and that's probably my favorite remix off of this one is the Julian Casablancas one. I think it is, I don't know, just like honors the original one in the right way, but like it's still a completely different song. I just love the production on it and Julian Casablancas' voice on it. I think that's a great tune.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I would recommend it. She had released some of them before, like Guess came out earlier with Billie Eilish. That one kind of bothered me because I feel like Billie Eilish completely...
You just don't like Billie Eilish.
I don't like Billie Eilish. I don't like her voice. I think she completely phoned it in too. The Ariana Grande one too. Also, Ariana Grande probably did that in 15 minutes. She just adds kind of vocal textures. Yeah. And that one I was like, oh, sick. Like, Sympathy is a Knife is a contender for my favorite song off of Brat. And Ariana Grande was obviously a big name. I was like, oh, that's probably going to be a crazy song. Nope, it wasn't at all.
Damn, that sucks because that is my favorite one off the record. And I think what I read that made me the most excited about the remix release was the fact that a bunch of like bloggers and stuff were kind of saying the most refreshing thing about it was the fact that artists were able to like put their own spin on the songs in such a good way, and then also still make sure it felt like the original song was in there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, to have someone just like add something, it just feels lazy. And yeah, I'm those big names like that, not to be reductive, but big names like that, it feels like they always just do it for the fucking paycheck. Like, oh yeah, you asked me to do it and you're big right now, so yeah, I'll do it because it'll gain me a little bit of notoriety, but I'm not gonna put any effort into it.
Yeah.
Effort's lame.
No, yeah, that's when it really is just like the pop music industry of just churning shit out. But yeah, other like it's great. Obviously the Girls So Confusing featuring Lorde came out very soon after Brat, the album dropped. So I was familiar with that one. That's a great remix.
That one's pretty good.
Really good. And that one's partly so good just because of like the lore behind it, that the song was about Lorde, and then Lorde like directly just addressed what Charlie XCX was saying, and cool song.
And then they became friends.
And then they became friends again. So yeah, Brat is completely different. That's been a big one for me. Chat Pile.
I love Cool World.
Yeah, me too.
I think, and I liked God's Country, but I think Cool World is 10 times better. Like, and granted, I always say I like the proggy stuff, but I feel like this one's better. And I'm not even going to say God's Country's proggy. It's not. It's just more like dingy and groggy. But like this one still has like that filth. Like sounds like they recorded it in like a fucking giant room, like a church somewhere with just like 3 microphones. But it's more accessible, and I think that's why it works so good, because the accessibility that it has gives it so much more energy and drive and carries it through so much more. Like the whole record is genuinely just so much fun to listen to. Yeah,
I completely agree. I wasn't as big into earlier Chat Pile releases as you were. They're on my radar. I listened to those records. But yeah, when this one came out, and I remember like the first time I listened to it and finished it, I was like, surely I didn't enjoy that as much as I thought I just did. Like, I'm not that big of a Chat Pile fan. But then, yeah, I listened to it and I was like, no, it's a really solid album. I really dig it.
Yeah, it's very solid.
Anything else for that week?
The Linda Lindas, No Obligation, really like that. And then the Touche Amore, Spiral in a Straight Line is decent. I've listened to it like 1.5 times. And I'm not the biggest Touche Amore fan, but ever since I saw them with Thrice, I have been trying to get more into them, and I like it. I think it's decent, so shout out for that.
Shit, there's a big release I forgot because I thought it came out later in October, but sorry to jump back a week, it actually came out October 4th. The Hard Quartet self-titled album.
I feel like you told me about that.
Yeah, I think I texted you and Connor about it.
The chat.
The Hard Quartet is a bit of a American 90s indie rock supergroup. Let me pull it up so I can give you a concise summary. So it's Stephen Malkmus of Pavement, most famously, but also did work with the Jakes, Silver Jews, Straw Dogs, and he's done solo work. Matt Sweeney, who I know you like Matt Sweeney. I'm a big fan of Matt Sweeney's YouTube channel, Guitar Moves, but he's also done a bunch of cool work in a bunch of different bands. He played in another super group that Iggy Pop and Josh Homme were in. Jim White is the drummer.
Oh, cool.
Yep. You know Jim White. Did stuff with Cat Power, Bill Callahan, other groups. And then Emmett Kelly, who I wasn't as familiar with. But he's known for his work in the Clyro Gang and the Double. So it's the 4 of them, and they came together and called themselves the Hard Quartet, and released a very lovely and pleasant album that I really enjoyed.
Okay.
So I would recommend checking out Hard Quartet.
Definitely will.
Yeah.
I love Jim White's drumming. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the whole album, the album has such a great feel. A lot of great songs. It really feels like a super group of like dudes from weird indie bands doing their thing, and it's well executed, and yeah, a great album.
Hell yeah. I didn't even know that existed. I added it to my library.
Right on.
All right. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Are we on the 25th now?
I think so.
Or did I? No, the 18th.
We're not even to the 25th. These are albums that are just upcoming. Some great albums that I'm anticipating, though. There's going to be some good releases later this week.
Nothing came out this last week. I guess the Pinhead Gunpowder came out, which is the Billy Joe side project.
Yeah. Oh, and Tim Heidecker released an album.
Oh yeah.
Tim Heidecker's been bothering me a little bit lately.
Yeah.
He's very pretentious.
He is kind of. I think because mixing funny stuff in with music is. You're always gonna seem like kind of a douche.
Yeah.
What's upcoming? The 25th?
Yeah, so 25th, what I'm looking forward to is Cortiners are dropping something. 311's dropping something.
That's crazy.
Ben Folds.
They put something out this year.
Yeah, they did. Earlier this year, I think.
Yeah.
Pixies are dropping something.
Ben Folds is dropping an album called Slayer. Which is a Christmas album.
Yeah.
That's so good.
That's hilarious. You a Ben Folds guy? Like Ben Folds 5
I respect
and stuff?
Ben Folds a lot. He's a little too like smart guy for me, like pushing up your glasses.
That's funny. That's how I've always felt too. But I respect him. I can't say anything bad about Ben Folds.
New Florence and the Machine could be good.
New Emil and the Sniffers.
Interesting.
Kind of over them, but whatever. Should be good. Also over Soccer Mommy, but she's putting on a record. And then October 28th, new Tyler.
Okay, so this is one of the singles I wanted to mention.
Yeah.
Have you listened to Noid?
Yes, I watched the video too.
What do you think of, first of all, the song?
It's crazy. It's good. I dig it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Tyler the Creator on his bullshit, but also completely different.
Yeah. I feel like something about that song is so captivating for me. Like it's another one I've just been listening to it a lot, like almost on repeat type shit. Like listen to it once, listen to something else, listen to Noid again. It's like it feels like Tyler back on his bullshit, but then it does also feel completely brand new. Like a lot of what he does on that song is like stuff that he really has not done before, but it feels within the universe of Tyler still. It definitely feels more like Igor than it feels like, Call Me If You Get Lost. But he did all the production, all the arranging. He did everything himself, which is how he did Igor.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of similarities, I would say, between those two records. And a lot of people are saying it's a companion record, but I do think thematically it's completely different. Like Igor's a breakup record. Mm-hmm. This feels a lot more like a kind of social commentary record.
That song's about being famous. Yeah, for sure. The video, you've seen the video.
The video I feel like is its own thing completely.
It's a work of art. We're in this cool era of like dope. Like, did you see the A$AP Rocky?
I did
Taylor
see
Swift
part
video.
Of that, yeah.
Not a big A$AP fan myself. Not really a fan of that song, but that video is so fucking crazy. It's and for some reason the Tyler the Creator video kind of reminded me of it. Just like really cinematic, well done,
and it was also its own work of art.
Yeah,
and the thing with Tyler is like. And we say this about a lot of like rock bands and stuff, but like the fact that he can put out something every 2 years in the hip hop rap universe that is like completely different, but still just absolutely unique and incredible is very admirable. Like
totally. And for a guy where it'd be so easy to do the same thing over and over again, because he did have a very idiosyncratic sound and vibe that everyone
and his
liked.
Fan base kind of too. Like when he started branching out, some people were like, we want more bars, like
so. For sure. So yeah, excited for that record.
A lot of Easter eggs supposedly in the Chromacopia, or not in the Noid video. Like,
yes,
a lot of the people like walking at the beginning are supposedly like features. A lot of people thought they heard Frank Ocean's voice at the beginning, which I don't know Frank Ocean well enough to know if it's actually Frank Ocean or not. And some people are like, it's definitely not Frank Ocean. So
yeah.
who the fuck actually knows? But yeah, a lot of Easter eggs. And he's so good at building up a lot of hype over a really short amount of time. Like, he announced the record the same day that the single came out, and the record's coming out like a week after the single, or like 2 weeks after the single. But yeah, the hype around it is already through the fucking roof. Like, I'm so excited. Just based off of Noid by itself, even without the video, like, I'm so fucking hyped. You just listen to it and you just automatically know, like, this record is going to be fucking insane. Like, it's going to be such an adventure to listen to it.
Definitely. I'm excited for it as well. So yeah, lots to look forward to throughout October.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've gone pretty long. Is it even worth mentioning singles? Any quick HM list? Any EPs or singles that you just have to get out?
Honestly, the Tyler was the one I really wanted to talk about. As far as EPs, I feel like there might have been one, but I'd have to like look for it.
So go through my Apple Music library real quick. U2 released the Zoo TV Live in Dublin 1993 EP. Listen to that several times.
I have not checked that out yet.
it's a live U2 EP from 93. It's fine.
Yeah, honestly, not much. I will say, like,
some cool live albums have come out.
This year started out really strong and then kind of...
It's been a big void.
Yeah, the middle of the year, it kind of dropped off. There was a couple good ones every few weeks, but with how, like, the first half of the year, it feels like there was a foundational record coming out, like, every week.
Yeah.
I did find one thing in my music. It's a full record, but I do want to shout out the Pipe Eye record, Pipe Defy. I didn't know about this, and my friend actually told me about it. Shout out Thomas. But Pipe Eye is, I forget his name, which I feel bad about, but it's the other guitar player from King Giz, not Joe, but the blonde haired guy.
I don't know his name, but yeah.
It's his side project, and it's just like a new full length that he put out, but it's pretty good. It's like pretty chill. Like, I want to say almost like surfy vibes, beachy vibes with like that kind of just like traditional Aussie psych thing, but I did think it was pretty enjoyable, so I'll definitely shout it out.
Interestingly, there's been some live albums which I've enjoyed lately. Blur released live at Wembley way back in July that I've listened to. That Wembley Stadium show was big for them, and so that was pretty all right. A single wanted to mention HM is TV Girl and George Clanton back in August, released Summer 2000 Baby and Take a Trip. Big fan of TV Girl and George Clanton individually. They toured together one time, and I'm super bummed I missed that. They went through the coast in Fort Collins, and I wasn't able to go to that show, but I would have. I always think about that as one of the shows I regret missing.
Fangirled so hard.
That would have been big for me. And then what was the other live album I wanted to mention? Oh, Animal Collective.
Oh, yeah. I didn't... Or no, I'm thinking of Glass Animals. They put out a record.
Oh, yeah. How we miss Glass Animals? I listened to that record.
I just don't really like
Glass Animals either. People are so into them. I don't even...
It's just like song, the music that, like, if you needed, like... If an alien came down from the space... And you had to be like, this is what music is. Like, you would play Glass Animals because it's just like the most conventional music.
Yes,
like, it's not bad.
Or especially, this is what music is right now.
This is a
conglomeration of everything. Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a good way to put it. Cool.
Let's shout out the new Full of Hell and Andrew Nolan single now called Burdened by Solar Mass. Let's do it.
Shouts out to them.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. It's super heavy at the first half and then gets really, really noisy in the back half. So that's the type of shit I like, and you know it. So that's a good song, and I like it, and I'm excited for the full length. Full of Hell's fucking second full length of the year, third full length of the year. So they put out this one record called Coagulated Bliss back in March, which I don't think I mentioned on my initial list, but
I don't think we talked about that one.
Quite good. Very, very enjoyable. So, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I got a shit.
I gotta pee my little panty poo pots.
Potty break.
Natural wrapping up point for us. Thanks everyone for listening.
I didn't look at the camera a single time this time.
I don't think I checked the screen once.
First week, I was all about that contact. Second week, I was trying to go back and forth. This week, I didn't look a single time. So now you get a little bit of everything. You can decide what you like best.
Let us know which one you like best.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I think we'll have a hiatus next.
We're going to have to take a week off.
Yeah, Julian will be out of town.
The remote pod from Japan.
That ain't happening. I'm not willing to coordinate that.
Yeah.
You don't want to spend precious hours in Japan talking
about you two.
Talking about you too.
I mean, I would do it if logistically it was possible.
Maybe when you get back, we'll have to do a deep dive on cool Japanese music we like, because there are a lot of really dope Japanese bands.
I think when I get back, we should do a deep dive on how to dismantle an atomic bomb.
That's okay. Oh my God, I'm looking forward to that. All right, well, you heard it here, folks. Look forward to that.
Stay tuned for that.
We'll see you in a couple weeks here on podcadzo.
Yeah.
Goodbye.